drinking a daily cup of tea will surely starve the apothecary. Once the drink of emperors, tea is today the most egalitarian of beverages and preceding coffee by more than 3,500 years. It is the oldest and most popular beverages known to man. Emperor and scientist Shen Nung, reputed to have eaten as many as 365 varieties of medicinal plants, in his life insisted that all drinking water to be boiled. Once, when dry leaves from a nearby bush fell into the boiling water, infusing a brown liquid into the water, the emperor drank some and found it very refreshing, and according to the legend, tea was born. Then on, tea arrived in Europe and swept away in other places like Holland, Russia, Kenya, India, South Africa, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, etc. The Nilgiris, known as the Queen of Hills, is the largest tea traced in South India, with the elevation of tea gardens ranges from 1000 to 2643 meters. The tea seeds were first reported to have been planted in the year 1835 in an experimental farm in the Kethi Valley, but the first full-scale efforts to plant tea in the Nilgiris were in Thiashola and Dunsandel estates in 1859.
இதுல இருக்க முள்ளெல்லாம் குத்தாதா? குத்தாது. எத்தனை வருஷமா?
ஒரு 25 வருஷம் 30 வருஷம் இங்கே தான் வேலை செய்வோம்.
காலையில வந்தீங்கன்னா சாயந்தரம் தான் போவீங்களா?
காலையில நாங்க 8 மணிக்கு வந்தோம்னா சாயந்தரம் 5 ஆயிடும்.
எவ்வளவு இந்த மாதிரி பறிச்சு போடுவீங்க?
25 கிலோ.
25 கிலோ. சம்பளம்?
சம்பளம் 198.
Nilgiri teas now accounts for about 100 million kg per year, which is about 10% of the total production of India. It is a well-known fact that the higher the elevation, better the quality and flavor of tea, and hence Nilgiris, with an elevation of 2000 meters above the sea level, is ideal for the production of high-quality teas. There are over 6,000 small growers and 120 small tea factories producing tea. The tea plant can handle a light frost and even snow, but not heavy freezes or prolonged cold winters. It can thus grow from the subtropical climates to the tropical climates, but generally requires a fair amount of humidity and rainfall during the growing season. Black tea is of two types, orthodox and CTC. Originally, all black tea was made by orthodox process. But when the CTC machine, which curls the tea leaves, when designed and then perfected, many producers switched to the new method of manufacture, and today CTC accounts for about 80% of India's tea crop. Worldwide, the figures are CTC 59%, orthodox 41%. Most production occurs via the crush, tear, curl or CTC process of manufacture, which delivers a higher number of cups per measure, technically known as cuppage. The strong flavors of Nilgiri tea make it useful for blending purposes. With a view to improving production quality, the United Planters Association of South India and the Tea Board of India have instigated programs to change cultivation and harvest practices among small growers. Development of science and technology has advanced the skill of tea manufacture from the ancient sun-drying skills, the steaming skills during the Thag dynasty, to roasting and fermenting skills. It was only in the beginning of the 20th century that machines were first applied in black tea production in India. After the tea leaves reach the factory, it is weighed and checked to eradicate any foreign matter, and then laid out loosely on wire mesh in withering troughs to a depth of 6 inches. Fans blow air over the green leaf while it withers in the trough. This is the first part of the manufacturing process, and it ensures that the moisture in the leaf is reduced up to 70% and the leaf is ready to withstand the strain of rolling without breaking up. The period of withering varies from 18 to 24 hours, depending on the moisture content. When properly withered, the tea leaf emits a fragrant odor. The withered leaves are moved to the rolling machine, which rotates horizontally. the leaves are rolled about 3 to 4 times, and in the process the cells in the leaves are bruised, resulting in their sap being exposed to the action of air. The cell sap contains polyphenols, caffeine, proteins and other chemical substances which ultimately give the characteristic color to the tea liquor during infusion. Rolling also results in giving a twist to the leaf. During this process, the leaves also break open, that triggers off the third process, oxidation.
Hi, I'm Gunashekar. I'm one of the directors of Shivram Group of Companies. We basically have 3 tea factories in the Nilgiris. We produce around 10 lakh kilos in each factory. This factory that you have seen today is Bika Tea Factory. We produce CTC tea. We procure the green leaf from small growers and try to produce the best quality that can be produced on bed. The quality of tea is uniform throughout the year, barring a few months where the climate plays havoc.
Once rolling is complete, the roll leaves are spread to a thickness of 1 to 1.5 inches on fermentation tables or troughs and left to ferment for a period of half an hour to 2 hours. During this period, the enzymes inside the tea leaf come into contact with the polyphenols and air. It then starts to oxidize, creating the flavor, the color and the strength of the tea. The tea leaves change color from green through light brown to a deep brown, and that happens at about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Good fermentation results in the color of the leaf changing to a reddish brown, giving off the characteristic aroma when the juices in the roll leaves react with each other and air. This stage is critical to the final flavor of the tea. If it is left too long, the flavor will be spoiled. To top the fermentation process, the leaf is passed through hot air dryers where it remains for about 20 minutes at a temperature of 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. This arrests the oxidation and reduces the total moisture content to about 3%. The oxidation will be stopped by this process, which not only changes the leaf but also stabilizes those changes so that the finished leaf will not get spoiled. This ensures that the character of finished tea is preserved until it is brewed, when it releases into the cup that balance of flavor, aroma and stimulation created in manufacture. The dried tea is now ready to be sorted into grades before packing. This is done by sorting machines which are fitted with wire mesh trays that revolve or vibrate. The tea is passed over wire meshes of varying sizes so that the whole leaf, broken leaf fannings and dust gardens fall at different places. These sorted teas comprise the different grades. The different grades of tea are then packed. Each lot is generally packed in a minimum of 5 sacks. The sacks are sealed and the grade name, garden name, lot number, gross and net weight and year of manufacture are stenciled on the sacks. The tea is now ready for dispatch to the market. Black tea is the most consumed tea and the highest in caffeine.
These all come under, it is only the second largest.
Green tea requires little or no oxidation to take place. Most of the water evaporates and the tea leaves are steamed or pan-fried. Hence, the green color and fresher appearance is found. Harvested in the early springtime and least processed of all teas, it is naturally dried indoors and hence tastes fresh with a delicate flowery and sweet taste. It is one of the highest quality and most expensive. Similar to the black tea, they are fermented for a very short time, creating the coppery red color and delicate flavor. It comes from the southern China and Taiwan. Tea brokers act as intermediaries between the planter, producer and the buyer. They are expected to be up to date with market trends and international prices, have a keen tea tasting ability and also behind the scenes business information such as wholesale buyers' creditworthiness and confidential history of timely payment.
There are 2 sectors as far as the tea growing is concerned. One is the Bartlett Tea Manufacturers Association, Bartlett Tea Manufacturers. Another one is the corporate sectors. The Bartlett sector, they own only the factory. They don't have any feed. They purchase green tea from the small tea growers and process and sell the tea. The corporate sectors, they have their own garden and their own factory. There are three ways a manufacturer can dispose of the product. One, they can export their product directly. Two, they can send it to any dealer or the wholesaler. Third, they have to come through the auction system.
At the auction centers, the tea samples are listed, evaluated and graded by tea brokers. There are broking houses in the country where the brokers test the various samples of tea which come from the different plantations. Tea tasters examine the samples of the dry leaf for its complexion, style, evenness of size and for stalk and fiber content. They also feel the leaf to see whether it is crisp, indicating proper firing as opposed to a spongy feel. The infused leaf gives an indication of the merit of the liquor, and the tea taster swirls the tea liquor in his mouth for a few seconds and spits it out. By doing so, he judges the strength, body, briskness, pungency and also the finer aspects like quality, bouquet, flavor and character. Sometimes milk is also added to judge the color and the strength more accurately. A truly expert tea taster can identify the garden, ambient conditions of the plucking day and can even suggest adjustments in the manufacturing process. This is why tea tasters play an important role in the manufacture and marketing of tea, and why they cannot be easily supplanted by a computer. Tea auctions were first started in London in 1839. In India, auctions were started in Kolkata in 1861 and in Cochin in 1947. A majority of small growers in Nilgiris switched from food crops to tea in the 1930s and were selling their leaves to bought leaf factories. Mainly, teas were purchased in big quantities by Brooke Bond and Lipton. The Kunur Club was a zeal of auctions from 1963 to 1985, and during the first few auctions, the auctioneers used to stand behind the bar to sell and buy tea by the slam of a hammer. In 1985, the auctions were shifted to the Upasi premises till 2002. In 2005, auctions were made at a click of a mouse. When the Kunur tea auctions went online, it marked a very important milestone, for it was the world's first tea auction to have an internet-based trading platform. Coimbatore and Cochin followed suit. Thus, South Indian tea auctions were all e-enabled. Tea may be steeped in history, but history too is steeped in tea, for it is one of a handful of plants that have changed the course of the world. Millions have been enriched by it and more than a few sacrificed for it. Fresh, yet timeless, tea is both the flavor of a moment and the taste of the past.